Hi, I'm Drew Norton, the Everyday Sales Leader, and thanks for watching this video today. So I want to give you a little update of some changes I'm going to be making to this channel, why I'm doing that, why I'm doing what I'm doing. If you've been a part of the journey and followed me along so far, thank you. I know I don't have a huge channel. I don't have a ton of subscribers. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing, those of you that have. And if you're new to the channel, I just want to introduce a little bit about me and why I'm doing what I'm doing and what's important to me. A little bit first about me. I'm known for helping others get what they want, and I love helping others succeed in their sales, their profession, their family, and their life. I am integrity and trust. I value team glory over individual glory. When I help others win, I win. And I can always be counted on for my honesty and transparency. I say those things because that's who I am. My name is Drew Norton. I'm a sales trainer, coach. I am going to be making some changes going forward with the channel. I'm still going to talk about sales, how to get better at it, the mindset around sales, building sales teams. I'm going to be taking some of this in a little bit of a different direction. I'm going to be bringing a little bit more into this channel. I've started a group that kicked off last week called The Abundant Man. I'm doing that with Josh Tilley. We're partners in real estate and really good friends and now partners in this new venture. And I want to share a little bit about why I'm doing that. But if I had to back up, I love sales and I've had a career in it. In fact, I still take sales calls every week at this point in my life. It changed my life getting into sales. And I love sales because for a couple of reasons. One, there's a little dopamine hit behind, going out and getting the wins over and over again. I think I've enjoyed that part of sales quite a bit. But I think for me, what I've really enjoyed when it comes to sales is the challenge of it, like solving the challenge of helping somebody get what they want. Going through the psychology of why the mind makes decisions, what it needs to be to make a decision, or what stops someone from moving forward, even when they have something they want right in front of them. Those things are fascinating to me. And so I loved, even when I couldn't help someone say yes, I'd often walk away from a sales conversation saying, okay, what could I change? What could I do different? And I do that in a lot of areas of my life. And what I found though, as I started having success in sales, I've just naturally fallen into leadership positions and leadership roles over time. I'll talk a little more about that in a second. I've enjoyed even more than the sales itself and the reward and the dopamine hits that come from that. I've had so much fulfillment in teaching others along the way. Helping someone else connect the dots and move along quicker, being a mentor for somebody, taking a young man who's making minimum wage and helping him go to six-figure incomes. Like that is so much more fulfilling, so much more fun. I love helping people have light bulb moments. And that all started in sales for me. I love taking what I have found works and helping someone else connect the dots and implement it into their life. As I was building sales teams, I recognized this and kind of a little bit of that journey a couple years ago. Well, it's been more than that, probably 3 or 4 years ago. I first had this idea. I was having a lot of success in the solar space specifically and saw a lot of problems. And I thought, man, I know there's a lot of good guys that want to sell ethically and want to do it in a way that's right for the customer. And I saw a lot of stuff I didn't like out there. There's some great people that teach some great stuff. And in sales, the industry as a whole sometimes gets a bad rap because of some bad apples, and wanted to just, what if I could help more people in this industry? And that's kind of where the idea started. And there actually are some great people doing some great things. And so I decided not to end up going fully that route, but the idea started there. Ended up joining a coaching agency. They brought me in to do sales training. What I ended up doing though was actually turned out to be something different. It was just the wrong seat on the bus at the wrong time. They wanted me to fulfill more of a employee role, and I'm too much of an entrepreneur for that. Went out on my own to do coaching and consulting on my own the last year and a half, and have really enjoyed it. At the same time, it's scary when you go from something you're doing really well at to starting brand new at zero from the ground up. There's been challenges, and it's been very rewarding. At the same time, I've loved the businesses I've worked with. I've loved the wins I've helped them get. I love the people that I've worked with specifically. And what's even more exciting is when you help somebody win in their life, it's even better when on paper they're seeing an ROI, seeing their business double, seeing big opportunities come in because of the changes that they've made and implemented. What I noticed though, as I've been doing that this last year, is a lot of the the businesses and people I've been attracting, it's been as much work on them. Now, some have been more on the sales side, but for some, it's been more work on them as a man and as a leader than it has necessarily been improving their sales or sales process. I just thought that was interesting. Had this desire, want to start a group to help men. And I want to talk about where that came from. In doing this, I've had several responses from people. Some have been very supportive. They know that men need help. Others have been curious. They don't understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. And occasionally I'm getting like, what the heck are you doing, Drew? Like, what is this, right? And then some criticism, which I'm okay too. I know if you want to do something bigger, you've got to put yourself out there, and that invites it sometimes. If you know me, and if you care to know why I'm doing that's why I'm making this video today. I want to share the intentions behind this for me. If I looked back 5-6 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago, I'd say 5 to 10 years ago, I was pretty miserable. I have a beautiful wife. She's amazing. She's been the rock of my life. I've got beautiful children. I've had good jobs and I've had a great career. But if I went back a few years ago, I was pretty miserable. And the word I would use to describe all that, Napoleon Hill talks about it in Outwitting the Devil, is I was drifting in a lot of ways. I had done the first few check marks in my early 20s that you're supposed to do, and then let bad habits, maybe not even bad, but unuseful habits and routines start to compound in my life. And I noticed my faith wasn't where it needed to be. I noticed my family and my relationships weren't as good as I wanted. Wasn't always happy and excited about my finances. My health wasn't what I wanted it to be. I got disgusted with myself. And now I've learned to separate the actions from me, but I wasn't happy with me. So I made some drastic changes, and it brought some amazing things, some drastic changes and walking away from what I was doing into a new career, leveling myself up. I saw a ton of success in sales. I went all in on what I was doing and saw huge financial benefits and blessings come among others that happened. But what I found is even as I started making more money and fixing some of those areas of my life, I still wasn't happy. I continued to say, I'll be happy when, and then I would accomplish the goal or reach the task or make the amount of money or hit the certain number of sales in a month. And it just wasn't fulfilling still. So I decided to keep working on me and working on myself. Part of that has been continuing to invest in myself, invest in programs, experiences, coaches, and have reached a level of happiness that I didn't have years ago. When I had success in sales and wanted to share that with the people I worked with and taught, I've wanted to do the same thing. I want to take the things I've learned and turn around and help others in their own life. And as I look through the world, what I've come to see is I'm not the only man who has or is miserable, who has been miserable or who currently is miserable. The mission I have, and I would say it's 2 or 3-fold. I want to change the way the world sees sales. I've talked a lot about that on this channel. I believe selling is leadership, it's freedom, it's life. Sales is helping people get what they want. And I'm going to continue to do that. And we're still going to have some sales videos as part of this channel, but it won't be the only focus. Like leadership is going to be a big part of this channel. Specifically faith, family, fitness, and finance, and talking about some of those things here. As far as the sales goes, my vision is going to just be to continue to partner with some amazing people to bring that vision to the world. And I've got some things I'm very excited about, not going to talk about today, but that I'm going to do and continue in sales with some partnerships that I have. Secondly, the world misunderstands leadership. I have a podcast with a couple buddies, Tate and Matt, the Everyday Leader podcast. That's kind of where the name The Everyday Sales Leader came from. The Everyday Leader is this idea that anyone can be a leader. You don't have to have the title. Leadership is a choice. And often leadership starts with leading yourself before you can lead others. And leadership can solve, we believe, all the world's problems. I feel like a lot of people misunderstand leadership. And so I want to continue to change the world, the way the world sees leadership. Lastly, Josh and I, we have a mission with The Abundant Man to change 10,000 men's lives. Maybe that sounds like a big number. Others might think it's actually small. And we just felt like, hey, we first talked about 100 men and felt like that's not big enough. We won't do enough to really push this forward unless we get bigger. And so we want to help 10,000 men change their lives because of The Abundant Man. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I would say if I had to describe myself before this last couple of years, I was successful on paper, but felt empty inside. Another thing I've heard Josh say is, and he says this over and over and over again, there's a version of you patiently waiting inside. He had a lot of internal fulfillment, but felt like externally when it came to his finances and the way he was making an impact in the world, that there were ways he could do more of that. And at some point, we'll probably do a video together on my channel. Why we're doing this is I see men struggling and hurting. I feel like the world has beat men up for years, that they've chewed them up, spit them out, degraded the role of being a husband, of being a father, have made masculinity a negative thing. Want to help men with that and change that, and want to have a place where they can belong, where they can believe in themselves, where they can become something greater. That's the purpose of this group. So if you want to know more about this, as far as the details of it, we're going to have weekly Rise Up calls every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here in Arizona. We're going to host those online. I'm going to have a link to our community. It's $97 a month if you want to join and be a part of those regular calls. Second, we're going to do a couple of other things as well. So the weekly calls are called Rise Up calls. We're going to also provide coaching for men, the Rise Up Experience. And we're going to also be doing in-person events at least quarterly to start, maybe more often as time goes on. And those will be referred to as the Abundant Life Experience. All of that's going to be housed under the Abundant Man. And so if someone wants all of those things, reach out to me. I'd love to talk more about if it's the right fit or not for you. But if you just want to get a little taste of it and start with our weekly calls, you can click on the description below. Otherwise, reach out to me. We'll have a conversation if the Abundant Man is right for you. And just super excited to bring this to the world. If you know men that are yearning for more or feel like something's missing, I want to help those men, and I want to help you become the Abundant Man.